Chapter 5: The Discipline Dynamic. Remember, you must make a discipline policy that works for you. Therefore, you don't have to follow my recommendations exactly, but this is what works for me. What I do is I do my discipline on a weekly basis, so the consequences reset themselves every week. There's an advantage to this as everyone gets a fresh start each week. As consequences go, when possible, try to assign personal responsibility rather than group responsibility. In other words, if one person is misbehaving, then punish the one person. If it is too many to identify, or if you can't find who it is, like if your back's turned, or little things like a student chirping or doing other things that minor but intentional, then you have to enact group responsibility. But be careful. If you rely on group responsibility to take care of one person's misbehavior, it could very well backfire on you. Here is a basic breakdown of my discipline policy, and remember, this is for a weekly basis. For the first offense, normally I just give a verbal warning. Usually a glare or saying knock it off, etc. will usually solve the problem. In a rare instance where I have to give a second offense, that's a written warning. You get your name in my book for a week, my discipline book. If you don't get any other trouble, nothing happens, but no check on the good behavior chart. If somehow you make it to a third offense, then you've earned a lunch detention. What they do is they bring lunch up from the lunchroom, they come to my room, no talking, and it's approximately 25 minutes. If there somehow is a fourth offense in the same week, then they've earned an after-school detention. I will also call the parents. The after-school detention will be 30 minutes long. And finally, if there's a fifth offense, then that's an automatic office referral. Also remember, for a more serious offense, you can go right to any level as needed. If a child is swearing or hitting, a verbal warning obviously won't do. A couple important points. If you give a warning or worse, stick to it. Don't let the student talk you out of it. You may invite the student to talk to you after class if you wish. Important. If you find yourself in an argument with the student, you need to get the argument away from the class as a whole. An audience will only escalate the argument. If the child will not wait until after class and insists on arguing with you, get them out of class. Then talk to them out in the hallway. You don't want to argue with the student, but you certainly don't want to do it publicly. If you must, then you've got to win. The first time you back down to a student in front of a group, you will lose respect of that class. That is poison to anything you will try to do for the rest of the year. However, what you will find is with positive reinforcement, like the good behavior chart, the behavior counter in a positive method, Jolly Ranchers, positive praise, and mutual respect, you will find that you'll have much less run-ins with students. They work much better than the negative reinforcement of the discipline book, detentions, yelling, and more homework. While you must have both positive and negative reinforcement, I think you'll find that in time, positive reinforcement is a much more reliable tool to use. The last variable is your teaching content. An engaged class is a behaved class, but we'll discuss that more in the next segment.